Welcome to this Officials Education Association football training video. The purpose of the training videos is to illustrate examples of rule application and judgment. Most plays are examples of correct rule application and officiating. Plays are selected based on applicable rule and mechanics points. No play is intended to embarrass any player, coach, school, or official. The topic of this video is pre-snap, encroachment, motion, and false start. This play is an example of encroachment by the defense. Prior to the snap, we see two defenders move into the neutral zone. That's all that's required for a foul. They don't need to make contact with the offensive players, and they're not allowed the opportunity to get back. One mechanics note on this play, we see both wing officials throw their flag into the defensive side of the line of scrimmage after the foul. This is not necessary. Simply throw the flag forward or up in the air so that the clock operator can see the flag and stop the clock on your signal. This play is an example of the judgment line of scrimmage officials need to make between a defensive encroachment and a false start by the offense. In this case, we see the left defensive tackle in the neutral zone prior to the snap, nearly simultaneous with the offensive tight end moving. If the line of scrimmage official determines that the defender was in the neutral zone before the offensive player moved, the foul is on the defense. If the offensive player moves prior to the defender being in the neutral zone, the foul would be called on the offense. This play is a double shift by the offense. We see that the wide receiver is still moving when the slot back goes in motion. This is a foul at the snap, as both players could have reset for 1 full second prior to the snap. This play is an example of legal motion prior to the snap. We see number 13 shift his position and reset, and then we see number 7 come in motion parallel to the line of scrimmage in the backfield. This is an example of legal motion prior to the snap. We see the fullback go in motion parallel to the line of scrimmage toward the sideline. Now, some would argue that this is a double shift because the quarterback turned and looked to the fullback prior to him going in motion. Unless the quarterback changes his position with both feet, the quarterback's movement is generally not considered a shift. This play is illegal motion by the back that's positioned outside the left offensive end. Now, prior to the snap, a player goes in motion and the back then flinches and moves forward. There could be two other fouls on this play. One would be a double shift because the back was moving forward at the snap at the same time that we had another player in motion. This could also be a false start by the back because the back flinched and moved forward, simulating the start of the play. There's no requirement that a player be on the line of scrimmage in order to be called for a false start. There are 3 false starts on this play. The offensive tackle lifts his hand up out of his stance prior to the snap. The slot back moves forward prior to the snap, and the fullback next to the quarterback moves forward, simulating the start of the play. This should bring flags from all 4 officials, referee, umpire, and both line of scrimmage officials, and the play should be stopped immediately. This play is an example of illegal motion and possibly a false start. Focus on the wide receiver that's in the backfield just below the numbers. We see prior to the snap, he takes a step forward and shuffles his feet. Now, this is an illegal motion because his motion is moving forward at the snap and not parallel to the line of scrimmage. You could also argue that this is a false start because the wide receiver is simulating action at the snap and moving forward at the snap. Again, there's no requirement to be on the line of scrimmage in order to be called for a false start. This play is an example of either a false start or illegal motion. Number 25 goes in motion legally prior to the snap, but then we see the fullback lean forward and flinch prior to the snap. The motion by 25 and the movement by the fullback is a double shift, which is illegal. Alternatively, you could just say that the fullback has a false start because he leaned forward and simulated action prior to the snap. Thank you for watching this Officials Education Association football training video. For additional resources, please go to our YouTube channel. There are additional training videos and our video clip library. You can also submit questions to oea4training@gmail.com.